My name is Bradi Owen. I'm 18 years of age. I'm from the Gold Coast, Queensland, and I drive for Eggleston Motorsport. So I've been into racing for pretty much from whenever I can remember. My brother was racing when I was really young, so I was always around it at the track.
Brady was probably always destined to be a race car driver. Our family has got a long history of motorsport, dating right back to my grandfather and my father and Brady's older brother. The challenges of being a father in motorsport, you drive every lap with them. The tension between a father and their child needs to be managed. So, I really need to let Brady be himself and resist the temptation to give advice or get too involved. He needs to go about his own way.
This year's been my standout year so far. I've got a couple of race wins, and this year's probably the most serious we've taken it. So far this year, we've been on the podium 7 out of 9. I think the most challenging race probably would have been my first Toyota 86 race.
Both of those team cars out in the one race. And it's in a tricky spot there with Bradi Owen in the Timken 25. It's Brady's first weekend.
I sort of got thrown straight into the deep end that weekend. It was raining really bad, and Bathurst is quite a full-on track when it's dry, let alone raining. That's probably my most character-building weekend, I would say, but I still think I learned a lot from that.
So the biggest thing for us in making sure that we're accurate and we know that everything's going on is actually in how we record everything. So every single time the car hits the track, it's important we know exactly how the car's set up, what the weather's doing, how hot it is. All the cars are fitted with Motec data logging and also aim camera systems. So when the car's on track, it acquires all this data and we get the onboard footage, and then after that we go and we analyse it and everything. So I'll sit down with Brady and we'll go over the data and take notes on how we can improve each corner and the car setup in general. It's really important that Brady and I are always on the same page, and he knows what I'm thinking and I know what he's thinking exactly. Sometimes we can be quite blunt with each other, but that's important to make sure that we're working towards the same goal. And from a team aspect, there's procedures that we follow to make sure that everything's checked off and that it's all safe and sound when the car hits the track.
So motorsport comes with inherent risks, just the same as construction and mining does. And with anything, it's really about the processes and risk management controls that you put in place. There's no risk that can't be managed.
Working with the team at the track, I guess we both have our own ways of communicating, but I think the biggest thing is understanding that we sort of just want the best for each other, and I guess whoever's involved wants the same result, and that's really just to do well on track. So our plans for Sandown going into the weekend were obviously to maintain our championship lead. After the weekend, we did drop down to second in the championship. What sort of caused us to be on the back foot for the weekend was qualifying, which is where we try and do that fast time to determine where we start the race. And it was a wet session, and ultimately we just didn't really get a lap in early. I read the conditions a little wrong, and I guess that's sort of the price you pay. It just puts you on the back foot for the remainder of the weekend. I think it was still a good weekend. We did learn a lot and we had a fast car. So going into Bathurst, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with that car speed there. I would love to race V8 supercars in the main game. That's my goal, where we're trying to get to. Next year, I'll be racing Super 2 with Eggleston Motorsport, which is pretty cool. So that's sort of my next step. Everything that we're doing now is sort of trying to prepare me for that main game drive, which would hopefully be in the next 3 years or so.